Welcome back to Andersen Acres. The good news is most of the snow has melted. The bad news is it's now raining and it's getting foggy out there. So yeah, this is great. This is November in Canada. Hope everyone's enjoying. I'm not. Hello, Shadowfax. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about judging at poultry shows because I did have somebody ask. Okay? Judging at poultry shows, if you're not really familiar with it, it is a little bit odd. Buffman, you're drenched. Buffman here is drenched. He's so wet. Why are you guys outside in the rain? It's gooey. Get back in the barn. Just caught in the rain. The quail are smart. They're inside. The cats are out and the chickens are out and they're all stupid. Anyway, so judging at poultry shows can be a little bit strange if you don't know what's going on. Groups of birds do compete with each other, but only the top in each group gets to move on and compete against the winners. The winners of other groups, actually. So it can be a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to use an example to kind of illustrate how they do work. So let's assume you raise cochins. Yeah, the goats don't come out in the rain. They hate the rain. But let's assume you raise cochins. Standard cochins, not bantams. Bantams are different. He loves the rain. So you're raising cochins. You have a white cochin rooster. Maybe he's about a year and a half old, and he's beautiful. So you decide to enter him. So you're going to start by competing against other white cochin roosters. Okay? In the show world, they'll be called cocks because they're over 6 months old. Cockerels are males under 6 months old. Just like hens are females over 6 months old. Pullets are under 6 months old, but still female. Cats. There's a pumpkin. We're all going to eat pumpkin for no good reason. You have a pumpkin and hay. You're fine. So first, your cochin rooster, your cochin cock, is going to be competing against other cochin roosters of his age. Okay? After he wins his category, assuming he does indeed win his category, he will then end up competing against other white cochins. So he'll be competing against a white cochin hen, a white cochin cockerel, and a white cochin pullet. All the white cochins, the winners of their respective groups, compete against each other. So then you'll have a white cochin who wins. So let's assume it's yours again. You have a white cochin rooster, your cock, he wins. Good for him. So the one who is, after he wins, okay, so he is going to be the best of variety. Okay, that's what that's called, best of variety. So he's the best white cochin in the group. Yay, good for him. But now he has to compete against cochins of other colors. Right now, in the APA, the American Poultry Association, the acceptable colors for cochins are, there's a cat, by the way, in the rabbit house with the rabbit. Because that's how we roll now. But okay, that's fine. But so, the acceptable colors for cochin right now, I believe, I might miss one, but white, black, buff and partridge, silver-laced, gold-laced, blue, brown, and I think barred. I might be missing one. But, okay, so the white cochin winner, in this case, the white cockerel that you entered, he gets to compete against all the other colors. So now you need whoever's the best in breed wins out of all those colors. So let's assume again that it's your white cochin. Yay for you! You are the best standard cochin. Not bantam cochin. Bantams compete separately. So cochins are an Asiatic breed. That's their class. So now he goes on to compete with other winners from the Asiatic group. This can be nerve-wracking because they're all so different. Just because they're Asiatic doesn't mean they're all the same. It's just like American breeds. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean they're all the same. An American breed is not necessarily the same as another American breed. Just because they're in the same class doesn't mean they have a whole lot to do with each other. So it can be really tough to predict this one. So in the case of the Asiatics, you're going to be up against Brahmas. And let me tell you, Brahmas win a lot. Brahmas are such beautiful birds. Brahmas win a lot. But let's assume your Cochin manages to win his class. So he's the best of the Asiatic. Now he has to compete with all the other classes. He's got to compete against the winner in the American, English, Mediterranean, continental, and all other standard breeds in there. So things get really scary because there's 7 different classes, 7 birds. They all meet the standard of perfection. They're all perfect. So it gets really, really difficult. It's very difficult, actually, because they're all so beautiful, all perfect. It's really hard to pick a winner, and I really feel for the judges when it gets to this stage. Because it's one thing to pick a winner when you're at the beginning and not all of them are great anyway, right? But it's another thing to pick a winner when they're all so pretty. So it becomes very tricky at this stage. Here, you're still not going to be competing against the bantams. The bantams are still being judged separately. Okay? So your white Cochin rooster is not competing against any of the bantams yet. No bantam Cochins, no Silkies, no Seabrights. He's just him. Him and his other big guys. Okay? So that's good, because I'll tell you, Seabrights are hard to beat. I've never entered with a Seabright, though I've raised them a time or two. Seabrights are hard to beat, so it's good if you're not competing against Seabrights. So, you're just competing against standard-sized birds. Let's assume your Cochin actually manages to pull that off and he wins. He's the best of all the standards. But it's not over yet. Remember how we talked about bantams about 5 seconds ago? Now it's time to meet them. Here's where often you're let down, because bantams there's so many bantams, so many of them are fantastic, that it is not unusual for someone to have just the perfect bantam, whether it's a Silkie or a Seabright. I've lost to Seabrights. That's because they tend to be pretty darn perfect and everyone loves them. Hard to raise, beautiful birds. I'm just seeing if anyone's in the shed when they're not supposed to be. Anyone hiding in the shed? Chickens, come out. No? That's fine. Just accounting for any missing birds. I think everyone's pretty much away right now. So now, at the show, your white Cochin rooster is competing against the bantams. Hi, Shadowfax. He probably isn't going to win, but let's assume he did. That's when the show is over. Okay? If he loses, he's the reserve champion, second place. If he wins, he is the champion. That's a really important title, really, really impressive, because it means, wow, are your chickens fantastic. If you can pull that off, good for you. I have yet to win a Best In show. Watching the final judging can be exciting, but don't forget to look at all the different breeds and varieties. Depending on how large your show is, there might literally be hundreds of them to see. So you want to talk to breeders, other spectators. Most of the breeders are going to be willing to talk about their prize-winning birds because they want to brag. So this is a good time to get pointers. Make contacts, especially with people showing breeds that you're interested in. And just generally talk, mingle. Most of the people at these shows are really, really impressive. They're really friendly and they're willing to talk to you. So mingle, have some fun. That's about it for today, because now it's starting to rain harder and it's starting to sook. The weather in November in Canada is a little, I don't know. I don't even know what you call this. This morning it was covered in snow. Tomorrow it's going to be a blizzard, I think. I don't know. It's just one of those times of years. It's horrible. Anyway, that's going to be about it for us here at Andersen Acres until tomorrow, because I'm done standing in the rain. I've checked all my fences. I've checked on all the animals. Shadowfax is glaring at me. So I think we're good. Hope you come back tomorrow. I think we'll talk just a little bit about how to get started in showing, and then we'll be done talking about showing chickens unless someone has a specific question, which sometimes happens. At any rate, we'll see you tomorrow.